I can't let go of the narcissist. Help. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. I consult with thousands of people, helping them understand the narcissistic ensnarement that they found themselves in, enabling them to plot a course to freedom by following what I explain, by doing what I explain that they ought to do. These individuals gain freedom, understanding, and achieve liberation from the very thing that has plagued their lives. One of the common things that I come across is the fact that a victim of a narcissist struggles to let go. Now, naturally, it is the case that we regard you subconsciously as our possessions, that you belong to us. That is why, when you come up on the radar and the conditions are suitable, that you'll find yourself being hoovered, because we have this inherent, inalienable right to return to you, to utilize you for the purpose of the prime aims. And thus, where circumstances dictate, we will hoover you and resurrect the interaction with you. This doesn't mean that we will necessarily go back into a formal relationship with you, for instance, as boyfriend and girlfriend. We might just be drawing on your fuel, controlling you in that moment, perhaps even seeking a residual benefit. But we do keep coming back. This, however, isn't the instance of our hoovering, although that plays a part in it. But it is often the case that the victim of the narcissist finds that they simply cannot let go. They struggle to make that break. They may well suspect that they're dealing with a narcissist. Indeed, many of them have it confirmed to them that they are dealing with a narcissist. And of course, following such confirmation through the narc detector, they ought then to follow the first golden rule of freedom, which is once you know, you go, you get out and you stay out. And yet, they struggle. In some instances, they essentially leave the door open so that the narcissist is able to walk back through it. It might be the case that they have sought to escape the narcissist, but clearly have not effected a successful escape, for the narcissist is all too easily able to hoover them back in. In other instances, it is the narcissist that has perhaps shelved the appliance or more usually disengaged from them, but yet, notwithstanding the fact that they've been given that head start on their no-contact regime, the victim still won't let go of the narcissist. For those who are unfamiliar with the whole dynamic of narcissism, they're often perplexed. Why on earth would you continue to want to be around somebody that has abused you? That is a fair question, and a logical one, for the logic dictates that if a person has been abusing you, then you ought to get away from them, and you ought to stay away from them. So why is it then that certain individuals find it so difficult to let go of the narcissist? For some, it's because they believe that they have unfinished business. They believe that there are things that need to be said to the narcissist. For instance, they've learned that this person is a narcissist, and they want the narcissist to know that they know. They want the narcissist to be told, I know you're a narcissist. They want to be able to convey to the narcissist what that means. This isn't as a consequence of them wanting to necessarily harm the narcissist, but simply to ensure, as a matter of their own pride, that the narcissist is aware that the victim has reached a point of understanding, and that they know what the narcissist is, and therefore they're not going to allow the narcissist to manipulate them any longer. In some instances, this state of knowledge drives a desire to hurt the narcissist, to want to see them upset, to be angry, to have a meltdown as a consequence of knowing that the victim knows what they are. In other instances, the failure to let go is as a consequence of wanting to cause trouble for the narcissist, to gain some form of revenge over them for the way that the narcissist has treated that victim, maybe over a course of years, perhaps even decades, to want to give that narcissist a dose of their own medicine. In some instances, the failure to let go is driven by a desire to help the narcissist, to get the narcissist to see what they are with a view to them changing. In other instances, the desire to continue with the narcissist is to want to have the good stuff again. The intoxicating nature of the golden period becomes so tempting to that victim that they clamour to get it back. For others, it's the fact that they can't understand why the narcissist has gone off with somebody else. They want to know why they've chose them. They fear that the new victim is going to get all of the good stuff, that somehow they will crack the code for handling the narcissist, and the current or the victim that has been disengaged from wants to be the one that has that chance to crack the code so that they get the good stuff. That heady, edifying golden period, if only to immerse oneself in it again and look to make it permanent, to enjoy all of the marvelness of the narcissist, but on a permanent basis. Oh, what a tempting prize it is. These are just some of the examples as to why the individual may not be able to let go of the narcissist. They know this person has hurt them. They know this person has harmed them. They know this person is simply no good for them. And yet, they can't let go. Whether it's from wanting to exact revenge against the narcissist or to be with the narcissist in a relationship, there are many instances whereby that individual simply won't let go. Perhaps in a familial situation, they just don't feel that they can cut off that brother, that sister, that mother, that father, they feel guilty for doing so. But it's often within the romantic setting, either wanting to resurrect the relationship where the individual was the intimate partner primary source, or perhaps being the other man or the other woman, that intimate partner secondary source of a shelf variety, or the dirty little secret where you're kept on the outside, never fully enjoying the relationship, but you still want to continue to have something to do with the narcissist, perhaps even making it so that you do become the intimate partner primary source, even though you need your head examined to want to put yourself in such a position with a narcissist. Lots of different scenarios, lots of apparent different drivers to motivate that victim to cause them to say, I can't let go. But what is actually behind all of that? Well, a number of factors. Firstly, the individual is likely to be an addict. There may be some instances where this failure to let go is driven by the fact that it is a situation of two narcissists colliding, and therefore the victim is an unaware narcissist, and their desire to continue with the narcissist is actually driven by their own pathological need for control and fuel. It happens, although it is rarer in the occurrence. More usually, it's driven as a consequence of the victim being an empathic victim and thus afflicted by their addiction to narcissists. Now, if you want to understand more about what this addiction is and how it functions and what it does, then you really ought to go to the Knowledge Vault and obtain the Triple Addiction Package. It's hugely helpful. But briefly, this addiction generates something called emotional thinking. This isn't being hysterical, it's simply making decisions without utilizing logic. And it is this emotional thinking which clouds the judgment of the victim and compels them to want to stay in some shape or form with the narcissist so they can't let go. It is this emotional thinking which causes them to make bad decisions, to cause them not to think with logic. Logic says, like a knife cutting through butter, this person is a narcissist. No good can come of any continued involvement with them. Stop it. You will only give them fuel, which is what the narcissist wants. They win. The narcissist will continue to hurt you in some shape or form. Therefore, you lose. You will increase your risk of being hoovered with all the problems that come from that. You lose. You will continue to increase your emotional thinking with all the problems that entail in that. You lose. Accordingly, logic dictates, get away from the narcissist and stay away from the narcissist, and yet that logic goes missing because it's crowded out by the rampant emotional thinking of the victim. And the reason that they cannot let go It's because they have an addiction to the narcissist and their emotional thinking is so strong that it expels that logic and makes them feel angry, lustful, in love about the narcissist still. So that those feelings are so strong that they're motivated to act on them by continuing to get in touch with the narcissist, to give the narcissist access to them, by responding to the narcissist hoovers, by wanting to spend time with the narcissist, by going back and having sex with the narcissist, whatever it might be. And yet they wonder, why is it I cannot let go? The fact is that they need to look at their no-contact regimen, because they clearly don't have one. Or they think that they have, but it's not effective enough. You see, if you have a total no-contact regimen, that means that you will stay out of the arenas of interaction, which means that your emotional thinking over time will go down, which means that you will be governed by logic and you'll have no desire to be with the narcissist because you will be making your decisions based upon that logic. Logic will prevail. Yet, if your emotional thinking remains high, it'll stop you from using that logic, and it'll mean that you will remain with the narcissist in some shape or form, and that you'll find yourself struggling to let go, although you can't understand why. You get it. I shouldn't be with a narcissist. I know they are harmful, yet I can't help myself. The reason you can't help yourself is because your emotional thinking has been allowed to be far too high. Now, that is entirely understandable when you're in the relationship, because you'll be in all 5 arenas of interaction. But post-relationship, you shouldn't be. But the fact is, as a consequence of the potential hoovering of the narcissist, but also your own behaviours, you keep yourself in those arenas of interaction, thus keeping your emotional thinking high, thus meaning that's what governs your behaviour and stops you letting go, because the addiction doesn't want you to let go. The addiction sits there at the heart of you saying, "Feed me." It wants you breathing in the narcissist. It wants you talking with the narcissist, talking about the narcissist. It wants you holding hands with the narcissist, attending to the narcissist's needs. It wants you having sex with the narcissist. It wants you giving a back rub to the narcissist, making dinner for the narcissist, considering what the narcissist wants. It wants to be fed. It wants you to feed it. And in so doing, you keep your already high emotional thinking just as high, if not increase that. And thus this means that logic is a stranger to you, and glued by this emotional thinking, you feel that you cannot let go. Your feelings govern you. You feel guilty for going, sad for going. You feel like you're a failure for letting the narcissist off the hook. All illogical responses when it comes to the narcissist. What must you do? Implement that total no-contact regime. Speak with me and I'll show you how. Implement that total no-contact regime, and thus your emotional thinking will start to come down and logic will start to prevail. And thus those feelings, those misleading feelings of not being able to let go, will start to weaken. And following what I instruct you to do, you will eventually turn around and say, "Why didn't I let go all the sooner?" I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.